Welcome to the Mucked Up My Self-Care podcast.
I'm Jill from New York.
And I'm Linda from Tasmania.
We are two moms from opposite sides of the world who are living, demonstrating, and helping moms across the world build their self-care asset bank.
Ready to dive in? Messy, interrupted, imperfect, and most of all mucked up. Let's get going. Let's get going.
Good morning, good evening.
Oh, you think that it was 98 episodes ago we recorded that intro?
Oh my God.
And I still love it. I still love Declan's little voice and input. Like, he wants to see the baby who's not so much a baby anymore.
Yep.
Oh dear.
He's such a hot mess. Oh my gosh, that child.
All of the children all over the world. Okay. So let's start as we normally do with highs and lows.
Let's do it.
And all the things. So do you want to go first?
Sure.
All right.
Highs and lows are on my mind because my husband and I recorded our podcast yesterday. So we do highs and lows in there too. But let's see. My high is oh my goodness. There were a lot of fun things that happened this weekend. It was just very packed with fun things and also very packed with very frustrating things.
Mm-hmm.
So the high is
highs and lows.
Yeah, exactly. It was definitely a roller coaster of a day over the weekend of a highs and lows. We did I had an interview for my podcast with our friend Kim, which was very, very, very good interview. So I feel very proud about it and like just I'm elevated from that. And then I got to host with a lot of volunteers an event at church. What we do is a snowball dinner in February every year. Oh. It's been like the past 15 years. I started it when I was the youth leader. And then it was taken over by some other women in the church, and then it was handed back over to me, it felt like.
Snowball is handballed.
Yeah, we do a spaghetti dinner, and then we have a snowball fight indoors with tissue paper snowballs, and it's just very, very fun. We go crazy doing it. It's always a hit every year. So in between all that is the low, where I woke up to a flat tire in the morning, and I'm just so over being attracted to misfortune with my car tires. I just happen to run over everything or nothing and still end up needing a tire repair, and I'm just over it. It's set my whole day like off course between the people trying to fix the tire, not able to do it, having to take my car and go get it done at the shop. And then like it just snowballed everything else. So everything got done that was supposed to get done.
Yep.
But it was just done more challenging and with more stress. So while it was a very fun weekend, it was a very stressful weekend also.
Yes, I'm sure.
So those are my highs and lows. Linda.
Okay, so what have I got? Which ones do I pick? I think a high for me is my computer is back in action. So I don't have to continue to use my slow laptop, which is great. I definitely miss it when it's not here. And my low is trying to sit down at this computer today has felt really challenging. And I've definitely had my patience tested and had to be creative in the ways that I could try and sit down without people's little bottoms sitting on the keyboard and climbing onto the desk, which I've definitely tried to eliminate, but it feels impossible because they just know that there's room for a little bum up here and they love to sit on my lap and draw and be involved, and that has felt very low today of all days. Very challenging. Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And to check in with myself a few times on my expectations and my intentions and the realities and how much I want to get done versus how much I can get done.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And I like to think that when I do get an opportunity, I can definitely put a foot on the accelerator, if you like, and make use of my time. But it's finding the time in the first place.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So, yeah, certainly feeling challenging. Yeah. So today we're talking about intentional self-care, and which is good timing really, because just been thinking about our intentions and how we are approaching our self-care in that space and everything like that. What are your first thoughts with this topic?
Oh, excuse me. Sorry, it is early. I'm tired. Well, my first question is, isn't all self-care intentional?
No.
Right?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either, because like I feel like self-care is just thrown around. Like it's, oh, go do some self-care. Okay. And I think that's where we can get like that misconception of what self-care is, because it's so fluttery, just thrown around, and like just add it into your day. Go take a walk. But what is a walk going to do for you if you're not setting an intention? Like, this is to clear my mind. Like, why are you taking that walk for self-care? What is that leak that you're trying to plug for your energy?
Yeah. I think about that Instagram post where it's something like going for a walk for my mental health or self-care or something like that, and it's someone just stomping around like really angry. Like, fine, I'll go for my walk, fine, if you say so. Like, it sort of defeats the purpose of
Well, along those lines, like when I first started walking Declan to school, it was intentional. Like, we had intention of walking because we wanted to save money on not spending gas money. It was that close. Why wouldn't we walk? So then I started talking to my therapist about it, and she's like, well, try walking without being on your phone while you're walking, or listening to music, and actually just be present in nature as you're walking in your own mind, and actually intentionally blocking everything else out and let it be truly just a walk to be with yourself. And that intention of what the walk was going to be changed how it became really like a good on-ramp for my day or an off-ramp for my day when I was alone, and then really good connecting time with my son when I was with him. So it's definitely a shift when you are intentional with it, for sure.
I suppose I think about the times when, hang on, I'm going to save that thought for a minute. Just back up to something else you just said. Because while it's fluttered around a little bit, this idea of carving out self-care time in your day, etc., I think there's still a big idea, which is lovely in theory, but an idea that self-care has to be flamboyant and big and alone. So take some time for yourself by going for a massage or going for taking a bath alone. Yeah, right. I had great intentions the other day of, shaving my legs and washing my hair and having a great long hot shower, and literally had 2 toddlers in the shower with me and our shower is not huge. Like, trying to do any of that, like shave my legs or anything like that,
Nothing. Yeah.
didn't even happen. Didn't
Oh,
happen at all.
I think I've taken my last shower with my toddler because we did that last week, and it's just like, no, we're done. This is not happening again.
Yes. Well, I have a 2-year-old who loves water
Yes.
in any form, including flooding the laundry. Yes. So she literally gets a chair, opens the door, and is in there
God.
in 2 seconds and loves it, but doesn't like shampoo in her eyes or anything else like that. So it's just, so I went in to that self-care exercise or moment with certain intentions, which then had to be changed and flexible. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yep.
And I'm just wondering, with your question of, does self-care have to be intentional? Like, I think it's unrealistic for us to think that self-care is always going to go the way we think. Ever.
Yeah.
And I think it's also, we've talked about this a lot in the past and grown, I think, on this podcast in realizing there were certain aspects of our day where we weren't realizing that certain things were actually a form of self-care.
Mm-hmm.
So does that mean that we didn't have intentions when we were doing those things?
I was just thinking the same thing.
Steph!
Because we've talked about that before. Like, take a look back on your day and see if there was some way that you did practice some self-care that you just didn't realize. But then is that like, that's different than intentional self-care? But is that where we figure out we can be intentional with our self-care when we're finding out by being retrospective and looking back at our day to see, well, what did work as a piece of self-care for me today? Now I can apply that, on another day that's similar. So what did you learn from your failed shower attempts, even though you had intentions of getting this time alone in your shower? What did you learn about that? Did it still bring you joy to have time with your children in the shower? Maybe next time you're not showering for a purpose, but is that a way to have self-care on a rainy day when you can't go outside and play in the water outside, but can you go do water play inside? And does that give you a little bit of self-care then, and you set that intention? So I think it helps us research our own self-care, but also we're like setting ourselves up for success in the meantime of like, okay, next time we do this with intention, can we up level what we get out of that moment?
Is the reflection part of the intention too? If we're intentionally reflecting, that's a mouthful. If we're doing reflection intentionally, which doesn't always happen, is that also part of what we're doing here too?
Well, so do you mean like at the end of your day, you're sitting there thinking of, some of us journal at the end of our day to see, ask ourselves those questions, like, what was going on in my day? What did I do good at? What did I not do great at? And, looking back at that, is that part of self-care too? Is, getting to know us at the end of the day too?
Maybe.
Yeah.
What's interesting is I actually picked up some hand cream, which I haven't used for ages. And I'm like, right, I'm going to put that on right now. Which actually feels really amazing while we're recording this podcast, because I can do that. And maybe I'll make that a weekly thing now.
There you go.
So I get it at least once a week, because I'm like, right, I can do that. So coming back to what you were talking about when you were walking to school and the idea of being very present, do you think self-care has to be fully present, or can you do it alongside other things? Picking up dog poo, taking his shoes off while you're...
We've talked about this before too, in like in some of the episodes, like, you know, self-care doesn't have to be long or alone, or there's just so many different ways that, you know, if you define self-care for you, what that means, how you know you receive what you need out of self-care, you can apply it, I feel like, to anything. And that we've done a lot of trying to uncover that and get deeper in our conversations about what are those things for us. And yes, me being outside grounding, I don't have to just be walking around in a circle in my backyard doing nothing, looking like a weirdo to myself, probably. But if I have a pooper scooper in my hands with a bag to pick up the dog poop, that gives me an activity while still doing my intentional part of the self-care. So I get something out of it, but it might be distracting for someone else. But I need that like thing to do while I'm just walking around in my grass. And I do have my son out there with me most times, running around doing his own thing. So it is that I am multitasking my self-care for that specific one. Like there's going to be another one. Like I wouldn't really say like my meeting with myself every week is technically self-care, but it's probably self-care for my business and my life in some sort of way. But I have to do that alone. I know how I have to be doing that meeting. It has to be in just like a different place. So I disrupt my mind. I can't be sitting here at my office desk having this meeting by myself, because I will just get lost in other things. So I have to be super intentional with how I set that up. So there really can't be other things that happen with that one. I think we end up finding out what works alongside other things versus what needs to be done strictly alone. Like if you do go pamper yourself with something, say you go out for a massage or to go just treat yourself. Like, I don't want to go shopping with my child as a form of self-care. I was just telling you, Linda, before, I have a stack of gift cards for multiple stores that I've collected over the last couple of years. My husband saw them and he's like, what are these all doing here? I'm like, they're just waiting for me to be able to go shopping one day. He's like, what are you waiting for? I'm like, I don't know, a child-free 2 hours to go up the block to the store by myself? I don't know. How is that going to work?
Naive.
I'm not bringing him. That's not self-care. Do you find that there are some things that you're able to do with other elements being intertwined with it and actually get to self-care?
Yeah, I have to. So much for me of my own self-care I'm realizing is connection and with other people. If that is taken away in different forms, like it has been in different ways, perhaps in the past, I haven't been able to see my family because life gets busy and other things happen, and maybe they're away for, like my dad went down to Antarctica, right, for 16 months. So not being able to see him, hug him, be with him was really hard for me in that time. And so I know that I need to be able to have before this we had a half-hour conversation just as friends. I need that as part of my bigger picture self-care. In order for the little parts to be satisfying.
I feel you.
And if I'm not getting that, I can have a million of those little parts But if the bigger part or the bigger value for me isn't being met, it does feel like pushing a boulder up a hill.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think because we get overwhelmed by being social sometimes, because I know I
Sure.
get like I can tap out hardcore, but there's different social situations that do revitalize us, I feel. Like I can have a whole day and be in a completely cranky mood, and my husband comes home and I'm just not very nice to him. Next thing you know, I have to go to mastermind or a different meeting, and I come out of it completely different. My husband's like, why do they get you to smile and laugh again? I'm like, because it's different. There's just a different social situation happening, and it's not you. Like it's totally different. It just fills my cup in a different way. And I think it's okay that happens for us too.
Yeah, that's reality.
Yeah.
But I've had a similar sort of question of why do they get the good parts of you? And I think, you know, it's different as well when you're in partnership or living under the same roof in a way, because you do have the ups and the downs and the highs and the lows and everything else. And it's not that we don't have those with each other.
Yeah.
It's just different.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when we're talking about intentionality again, how much do you think the feeling comes into that? So is it beneficial to us when we have the headspace, the time, the ability to? Does it help you to go into self-care with an intention to feel a certain way at the like throughout or at the end of it?
I think in the past I've set myself up for failure having the intention of feeling a specific way and not getting that.
Yep. That's what I was going to say too.
I think I've shifted from like, oh, we're going to have such a great self-care. I'm going to feel so rested and relaxed, and I'm going to be able to do all these things. And then it just, you do the activity. It is done the way that you expected it to happen, but you just don't get that outcome of a feeling or rejuvenation out of it. That I think I've done that one too many times. And I'm like, you know what? We're just going to do it because I know it works for me. I'm just not going to have the expectation of like that pressure of expectation set on myself. So
yeah.
Is that how you're feeling about it also?
Yeah, I am. Because unfortunately, if I go in with too many expectations, because I think there is a difference between expectations and intention, which we can talk about more on another episode. If I go in with too many expectations, the feeling I'm then left with more than anything is disappointment. So that feeling of disappointment then takes over any benefit.
Big time.
That I might have got from self-care.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hard to say out loud, but very true. One thing that is not disappointing though, Jill, is that we've got our 100 episode coming up in a few weeks.
I know.
Which is very monumental and quite a milestone for us as well. And we would love you to email us with any questions you may have about self-care or anything that you might like to think about, or any episodes that you may have listened to and takeaways you got from there, and things like that.
Or even
all the details in the show notes.
Yeah, or questions about like behind the scenes, how to like have to do. What is that? Just about us, also, like because we want to get to know you too. So, yes, email questions. we'll be
Yep.
answering them on the 100th episode. So
That's right. Yeah.
there's still some time to get them in.
Yes, definitely. And did you have anything else to add?
Oh no.
Mommy, there's our saints.
Nope.
There's your cue.
We're awake. Declan's up. We gotta start our day now. So good timing.
I've got it in mind. I'm very tired. So until next week.
We hope you can unstuck your Mac.
Bye for now.
Bye.
There's our saints.
Bam, bam, can we do it again?